Deion, man. Deion is a fly guy. Look at this guy. This guy is coaching. This is a picture of him coaching. He has on shades and not the expensive $5,000 shades, $1 million shades that you get out the store. Look at this. Those are those $5 shades with the red thing that you can get out the Dollar Tree. He got on 2 big chains. Shout out to 2 Chainz. Look how fresh he is, man. Just chilling, coaching.
The Simple J.
Now he's the thing is. Now, there's a couple of layers here, right?
Yeah.
It just literally came to my mind. Now, we're talking about Deion Sanders, who's coaching the HBCU right now, Jackson State, and has been doing well the last couple of years.
And undefeated this season.
Undefeated this season. He's advocating for them to go into a bowl game with one of the bigger guys and things like that may come in the future. But we're talking about him possibly moving to coach in the Power 5, things like that. And lately the news that broke today is that USF and Colorado are after Deion. And this article right here says Deion Sanders is in talks with Colorado and USF for a potential head coaching position. Now, remember last week when we talked about this, his message to his team was, I'm not at practice. But don't worry, I'm not out talking to other teams.
Sure.
I got a funeral to go to. I got some family things.
Yeah.
I hope he really wasn't taking meetings with fucking USF.
This is like, and we talked about where if he were to go PWI Power 5, where would he go?
Yes, we talked about that as well.
These places are an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm on the Jackson State team, I'm thinking we can beat Colorado, we can beat USF. What are you trying to do there, Coach? So I hope that there's really nothing to this, because I think it's beneath Deion to consider these schools. It's beneath him to talk to them. He's better than this.
Yeah.
And if he makes the decision to go to a Power 5 school, I want him to go to a Power 5 school that can win everything.
Yeah.
And
like,
that ain't
that's
happening
the thing.
at Colorado. It ain't happening at USF. That's ridiculous. So I hope this is a bunch of nonsense. I really do.
I really do, and I hope they're lying in this article. You know what I mean? Who has reporter integrity at these days and times anyhow?
Yeah.
So I hope that's the case. But
well, did you catch Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay?
What he was talking about?
He was talking about what he was saying is apparently with some of these Power 5 schools. One of the issues that's coming up is the Deion's failed high school project, Prime Prep, and it was a athletic-based prep school, I guess, that he started in the state of Texas. I get in some ways maybe similar to some sort of like IMG program for football and basketball, and it never got accreditation as a school. So Emmanuel Mudiay went there back in the day, and he was at the time.
I haven't heard that name.
He was not eligible to go to NCAA basketball. He was going to sign with SMU, but because of the classes he took and the lack of accreditation at Prime Prep, he could not get qualified to play Division I basketball. So he ended up spending a year in China before getting drafted in the lottery.
So that's why he didn't go. I thought it was just like one of those moves. Okay.
Nah, he couldn't. He was kind of didn't have an option. And the G League Ignite wasn't an option at that time either. So he had to do that. And so there was a lot of negative stuff that happened there as far as just what the academics were, why they couldn't get accredited. I read some articles at the time. There was two streams of thought that the program was just sort of disorganized and not up to par, and there was another line of thought that because Deion was in front of it, that the academic people in Texas were, kind of over analyzing it or being overly critical and giving it a harder time than they might have another institution. But be that as it may, ultimately the thing folded. Deion's kids finished playing at a different, I think some sort of Christian high school in the Dallas area, Texas Dallas area, and the thing was a failure. But apparently this has kind of reared itself up in the thoughts of some PWIs, Power 5 schools that, well, do we want Deion here because of whatever? And Shannon Sharp had a pretty hot take as far as you look at the stuff that some of these other guys have done, like a Hugh Freeze, like Lane Kiffin and what have you, and it's like they're still getting Power 5 jobs, they're still getting things done, and nobody's talking about their transgressions. It's like, why is this an issue with Deion?
Yeah, but yeah, because I think the overall thing is we didn't know, and like your main sentiment, I thought should have been the sentiment of Power Fives initially when he was deciding to go to Jackson State was, does Deion really want to coach football?
That was my gut belief. Yeah,
and I think that has been answered now. I think he enjoys it, and he's really good at it, right? So if you're going to,
and he has embraced that platform as bigger than coaching football.
Yes,
and I honestly feel. And I'll say that I'm sure. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame football player. He loves football. I get that.
Yeah.
But there's a big part of me that believes that the way this platform has come to him, that's as much equal love, equal importance to the coaching of football. And I think that's keeping him in this place, and he's thriving in it, because right now he's bigger than a football coach.
He is, but my point to that was, if you're gonna leave Jackson State, Deion, and you're gonna leave for a Power 5, as we're saying, like, make it be like, when you have an opportunity quickly to turn that team into a national championship contender, and Auburn would have been that place that we would thought that you would have an opportunity. If it's not that, don't leave a HBCU to go to USF or Colorado, which that said HBCU can beat USF or compete against USF and Colorado, in a year or two. If not now, I don't know. I would like to see it right now just to see. But you're on the pace that you're recruiting, on the pace that your team is improving. You know what I mean? Your team can be as competitive as these two teams are in short order. There's no reason.
I don't think either one of those teams right now would want to play them in a theoretical ball.
They would not want. They would not want
not to smoke at all.
No.
Would not want to smoke at all.
No.
And that says everything. And you can believe in yourself and know that, hey, I can go there and make a difference. But in all seriousness, and you might as well do that at an HBCU.
Yes.
You might as well. I can understand the temptation. I can understand the challenge of getting in a place where you could compete for the national title. But it is not happening at South Florida. It's not happening at Colorado.
No, because when you go there, man, it's like I say, I always use the Scott Frost thing because it's close to home, and I know that like directly how he had UCF on fire, and it's a very similar situation, man.
Yeah.
He was better off staying at UCF and building that team up versus going to a bigger program that really, it was just a bad, they weren't in a good position to win in short order. And then when you go there and you don't perform, you're going to be out. You're a bad coach.
Yeah, they were in no kind of position to do anything. They were a faded, diminished brand. They didn't have a recruiting territory worth a damn. They didn't have the financial resources to build that.
And we're talking about Nebraska.
Yeah. They just don't have it. Nebraska's not a good state. It doesn't produce players. It's not a particularly wealthy state.
And you give him a truth serum, or maybe just ask him straight up. I guarantee he's going to say, I should have stayed at UCF.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, he's fired. I mean, the guy's freaking fired.
And he was
from his alma mater.
He was becoming a legend at UCF. He was. I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, he was. Be honest. In that coaching cycle, he was unquestionably the highest regarded guy.
Yes.
And then to let that go. I mean, just it's different. But I'm disappointed if Deion's actually engaging these people on this, and I hope he's not. I hope he's not. There could be a job out there, but this ain't. Neither one of these are the ones.
I want to say, man, I appreciate everyone who really tunes in to us, who listens, especially the ones who comment. Comments really help the video grow and things of that nature. So really, like, honestly, we really appreciate you guys, and even the ones who just view things of that nature. Sharing is also always welcome. So we appreciate you guys. And for the guys who watch the clips, and comments. I'm going to make sure when we edit this out, we keep this part in here. You know, listen, we got to get to a place, and I say this in my comments when I'm replying to you guys. We got to get to a place to where we can assess and criticize HBCU football and HBCUs when we see it. You know, when a guy struggles, we have to be able to comment on their bad games as we do their good games, just like we do the PWIs, just like we do with the Florida Gators and the Seminoles and stuff like that. If the Seminoles are not playing well and we have a topic on that, Pink is going to come in and we're going to tell you about it. I just told you how the Florida Gators defense is trash and terrible and the worst I've ever seen. So we have to get to a place where we can talk about that, about HBCU football. It can't be all roses and fucking, because I go to these games, all right? It is not all fucking roses and milk, all right? You got to get to a place where we can criticize and assess these guys on the field, all right? So, you know, give us a little break there. And you know, it's all fine if you disagree. It's sports. But, like you know, it's just not all roses and milk, man. All right?
You know what? I had a flashback to when we did the show at Rollins. I actually called for the dismissal of Jimbo Fisher before he left.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 35 or 38-3 loss on the road at Boston College where the team just visibly quit.
Oh, man.
And I remember that, and because Jimbo's doing a shit job at Texas A&M, and they want to fire him. But like I remember saying that, and it was like up to that point, and I went to FSU in 1989. Up to that point, that was probably 2016 or so. I had never turned off a Florida State game without watching it through the end, and I turned that game off. And I remember saying, because I think we had a show, I think it might have been a Thursday night game, we did a Friday morning show, and I was like, if this is where we are, he needs to be dismissed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my alma mater. I mean, you got to be able to say it.
You got to be able to say it,
You know,
man.
at the end of the day, that's what it is, man.
That's what it is.